G'day folks, welcome back to Save Bastogne, Wacht and Rhein. We are at the start of, I think it's the 6th turn of this scenario, which is, oh, I bumped my game turn. I'm trying to think. We started on the December 18th PM turn. We've gone 1, 2, 3, 4. No, actually, I'm getting a bit confused. Turn 5, not turn 6. It is the 6th video, but it's turn 5. And this is a night turn, so the Germans are probably going to be a bit frustrated because this will give the Americans a break to set up their defensive positions. So, without further ado, let's firstly have a quick browse. We're looking at December 19th night turn. There are some reinforcements arriving. We also have some American reinforcements arriving. So let's sort those out. We have got just one small 101st Airborne Tank Destroyer Battalion. Now I think that's them. Right, so they're sorted. Did I mess it up last turn? Because they were meant to arrive. No, they've already arrived. My apologies. That was PM game turn. For the 19th night game turn, there are no reinforcements. AM, PM, that's right. We've got reinforcements arriving the next turn, the AM turn on the 20th, but nothing for this turn. So we're good to go. Okay. American turn first, mode determination phase. Let's have a look at what we want to do. The plan is to try to extend this front defensive position, get some more 101st Airborne up here and see how far they can go. No prepared assaults. It will be purely defensive. Let me first correct something that happened earlier. So, this formation was here and they were in a level 3 entrenchment. They are allowed to remove that level 3 entrenchment to cancel one hit. That, I've gone through it again, that gives them just one mandatory hit, which they've taken, and their discretionary hits were converted into retreats and they've retreated back to here. I think it's either here or here, but let's treat it as here, and the Germans have advanced. So they weren't eliminated. They were taking a big step loss, but not quite eliminated. So I've corrected that. I've checked up the rules, and I'm pretty sure I did this correctly with fatigue. I may be playing the armor, the AT rules. I'll be double checking that. But yeah, Claystone did a great video on AT and armor factors, so that's well worth checking that out. Links in the description below to his channel. Okay, let's get on with construction phase. Mode determination is done. Construction, and we have engineers here. Right, so they are going to commence construction of level 1. This is a bit risky. We have our engineers here who are fatigued. Okay, here's the question. Does fatigue affect their ability to construct? Can engineers who are fatigue 1 engage in construction? Let's check out the construction rules on page 62. I have a hunch there may be some limitation at some stage, but it's a case of when. Is it, is it fatigue 1 or fatigue 2? Okay, so benefits of defensive works, construction. Remove a fieldwork marker if it's not occupied by a friendly unit at the end of any phase, so that should be well gone. There's this description of forts, improvement effects. Where might I find fatigue. Requires engineers, a type of unit, improved position. Doesn't say anything about fatigue. Okay. To initiate construction, there must be a completed improved position. Units constructing are observable when in OCT terrain. Well, this is a bit complex. I'll need to read this carefully. And the player cannot initiate the construction of an ET2 if the unit is observable to enemy units. That's interesting. So you can't be seen. That's really interesting. You can't initiate construction if the unit is observable by enemy units. But I can't see anything about fatigue. So maybe I'm incorrect, and that you can construct while fatigued. Okay, the only player must halt construction if at any time the units conducting the construction conduct any other action are the subject of a ground assault. So I think I've been playing that correctly. But yeah, nothing about fatigue. I'll go to the glossary for fatigue just to see if there's any reference. 14.0. I'll just check the fatigue rules as well. See if there's a summary of the effects of fatigue. See how basically our fatigued engineers are still allowed to build. Fatigue. Effects of fatigue. Units with a fatigue 1 or 2 can't conduct construction. There we go. So they are not allowed to conduct. That's good. Summarised very clearly under the fatigue rules. So they will not be constructing in that hex. They will need to recover their fatigue. Where are my other engineers? They are there. Small engineering company, which will finish their construction. Engineering battalion here. They are seen by the enemy, so they want to get out of there. They'll be moving to a space where they can actually dig in and build those fieldworks. So construction is, yep, fairly straightforward. So we can move on to the US movement phase. And as I said, I want to pull the engineers back, and I need to, in fact, defend the outskirts of Bastogne. So this is going to be difficult because I cannot build entrenchments here or fieldworks here because I'm pretty sure there's a clear line of sight from there into this sort of, it's rough terrain, but rough terrain doesn't obstruct line of sight from memory. And I am going from memory. So there's nothing stopping. Yeah. So we could probably construct here. So let's try and pull back. We've got it. Yep, they can come back to here, and they will construct there. First of all, sorry, in the movement phase, at the very start of that movement phase, construction phase, no, that's all, we're all good. When does construction complete? Conduct construction, flip all fieldworks under construction. I think that becomes complete now. Okay. So now movement, and as I said, I'm going to try and stretch these defences out. I need to pull my engineers here back, which means I'm going to need another. No, I've got a fatigue marker. I'll leave those guys there, I guess, but these engineers are going to try and come back, maybe out to here. So one. I need my terrain effects chart. I need to actually find it. It is around somewhere. There we are. Okay. So these are woods 1.5 for leg. Okay. We need to do. These trucks are really frustrating. It is just such a frustrating kind of situation. You have to do mech road movement first. So because I've dismounted, I think everyone else has to kind of dismount as well. which is just, yeah, it's been a bit of a headache to kind of figure this out. Engineers, half movement. Okay, so they're going to move 3, and they'll go 1, 2, and they'll pull back to here. Well, they'll try and entrench in that position there. We'll move these guys as far out as possible, so they'll come up here and basically take a position in that rough wooded terrain on the outskirts there. We do have some more. These guys will go, checking the terrain costs for rough, it's just 1. So they can come out all the way and go 1, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Is that right? Have I missed the number there? So the 4.5 or 5.5. Taking up a position there. This is it's a vantage point, a rough. It's a town or a village, the one that provides defensive benefits, population feature. Okay, we've got our self-propelled artillery here. They'll stay there. They've moved there. They've moved there. We have got these guys sitting under here. Right. Now, a bit of a concern over here with the Germans wrapping around. Yes. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have to split the 5 by second, I think, because we need to get someone out here. And these guys will go 1, 2, 3. That's risky, and we'll send CCB straight back in to stack with them. Trying to hold, this is where the Germans had that big success here. Okay, so we're dismounting. That's 3. They've got 3 movement points left. 1, 2, 3. They'll just hold position there. And this is 501st. They'll dismount and go 1, 2, 3, and then dismount 1, 2, 3. And then I guess we should probably bring in, can we bring in some AT companies? They can probably stack, but I don't know. Special stacking for mech road movement. And I probably should have thought about this earlier, because these are these small little these small little Z step units here. I'm pretty sure there's special mech. It's just an obscure rule. Mech road movement, special mech road movement stacking is what I'm looking for. So probably under stacking rules. As you can probably tell, there's a lot of checking and double checking the rules. So stacking limit, special stacking. I'm talking about road mech units effect on stacking. Mixed mode stacking. Jeez. Movement order. Wow. I'm sure it's just finding what I'm after basically, which is mech road movement. Okay, so I found the 2 one-step mech companies that start the movement phase stack together, maybe treated as a single unit. Mech road movement stacking. Using mech road movement, the number of mech class units in a hex may restrict movement. So Claystone did a short video on the most common aspects of this. He spoke about how you pay 2 additional movement points. Special stacking. Okay, this refers to rule 6.20, which is kind of where I thought I just was. 6.2.0, special stacking. Do not. Okay. We're moving to play special stacking rules, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there are all these categories of special stacking. German AFE companies, engineers and AT companies. This is an AT company. So a one-step engineering or AT company may stack for free with a battalion-sized personnel unit. Okay, what that means is that these guys can, in effect, come on with these guys. So I'll kind of correct that mistake. I'll bring them up and they'll, geez, they can move quite far. So they've had free stacking. What I want to do is kind of bring them out. We'll put an AT company there, an AT company there, and an AT company there. It just gives them a little bit of AT. That corrects my missing of that. So yeah, backtracking a little bit, throwing them on. These guys will come in and drop their trucks. These guys come in, drop their trucks. These guys will come in and drop their... Actually, I need engineers. So I'm going to throw in engineers at the head, drop their trucks. So 1, 2, 3. They can't drop their trucks yet, so they have to stop there, I think. But these guys will drop their trucks just because I don't see the point of driving around in trucks that all eventually have to drop anyway. So the traffic jam's getting a bit lighter. We've still got our airborne artillery pieces to come on, and should have brought the M18s in. Actually, they're a battalion. They're a full battalion, so and they were the last. Technically, they're at the end of the trail, so they'll come on last. What other movement are we doing? Okay, so there's this bit of a scary area here. They've got their combat strength halved. It'd be good to pull back from there. Geez, but then their line is really thin. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? I just need to kind of shift some forces around, I think. For M18 AT there, let's move the recons over. Engineers stay there because they're busy. In fact, they can't start construction work because they're being viewed, so they will pull back to here and try and build a bit of a defensive... Oh no, let's come back to here, just in case. All right, not the best. So we've got defensive 8 here, we've got defensive effectively 4 here, which is pretty weak. I might move my artillery. No, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to move these engineers. No, yes, these engineers are going to pull away from there, and they might pull to a position just in the north there. It does leave me pretty weak and vulnerable in these areas here. I don't really know what else to do. Well, it's a night turn, so hopefully the Germans don't attack. Hopefully they just sleep. We'll see. Look, I think that's the bulk of movement done. I know I've got a bit of a gap here. Do I pull back away? No, I'm in a good terrain position here. I know there's a gap there. Yeah, the Germans would be a bit silly to try to slip through there. So that's the end of the American movement phase. No combat in their combat phase, which brings us to the German phase. I'm just going to double check that sequence of play. Active player 1 to 5 preliminary joint phases. Okay, so I've been doing something a little bit wrong. The active player has their administrative phase, including air supply, supply determination, and ammo replenishment before the Axis player turn. And so there's effectively, each player has their own administrative phase. It's not a shared phase. For some reason, I don't know why, I had it in my head that it was shared. So we get to the German turn, and this is important, their mode determination phase. And this is where they need to make some important decisions. Night turn, they will suffer penalties, but they're really weak up here. It's the second Panzer, they've really taken some hits. I'm going to be very selective in where they attack, I think. And I think they really, really, really want to attack on this point here, coming down from Noville. So we are going to, and look, they're pretty strong in this area. So let's say prepared assault and prepared assault. We may just attack the 1 point there. We can, now that they're in position, designate some of these forces as combat reserves. So, and is it worth it? Let's have a look. Let's see. I think this is comfort of Kosh. Yep. And are they Kosh as well? Yes, they are. So we'll get the regimental integrity bonus. Let's experiment with combat reserve rules and combat reserve. And down here, we'll just, again, Panzer has taken some hits, so they'll rest as well. We'll leave their formations in tack mode because they won't be assaulting. So just a one night assault going on for the Germans. Relatively quiet, but they know that the Americans are weak in this area. They saw the engineers leaving. They saw that this is where they did damage to the airborne infantry. So that's where they're going to try and strike again. Maybe just one attack on this point. I already can't remember what was, I think that's where the weak point was. So yeah, this is where they'll strike, I think a 2-on-1. And then they're really driving through, if they can succeed. So just the one combat. Okay, and it's a night-term combat, so there will be penalties. But let's work through it. First of all, gunfire. What's it called? The phase. Fire support segment. Defensive fire first. And with only one combat going on, the Americans with their 1, 2, 3 artillery pieces, totaling 8 barrage points, 3, 3 and 2 under there, going to attack, I think, this unit here, the full strength hybrid unit. So, one mission, 8 strength, it's a total of 8. Let's find our fire mission chart. Here we go. All right, so what do the Americans have in this hex? They are defending in, looks like woods. Yeah, it's kind of, it's rough woods. That's rough woods. That's forest. That's rough woods. I've got to remember that. So rough woods. Wooded rough, which is a -2 dice roll modifier. So it's 8 minus 2 is 6. It is. Does recon count as AFV mix? I don't think it. I think it's an exception. I think the recon units are an exception to the AFV mixed rule. Why do I have that in my head? Let's double check this. Sorry, another rules consultation. Section 11. Checking to see if recon units, because what do we got here? We've got recon and then just the airborne, the really damaged airborne. Oh, crikey, this is going to be bad. They've only got a strength of 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 11.5.3 talks about the mixed armour. Recon units showing an armoured car are not pure AFV. It's very clearly laid out, and I've even highlighted it. So yes, they don't count as mixed AFV. They don't get that negative modifier. So it's, we're still on 6. There are 1, 2, 3 steps there, so no modifiers for density. It is a night turn though, so -1, which brings us to 5. Are the observers on a vantage point? I don't think they are. I don't think there's any vantage points in there. No, I'm pretty sure that's not either, so I won't worry about that. So looking at 5, plus a die roll. Let's check this out. All right, so 5 plus a die roll is an 8, so 13 gives us an artillery shift 1. Not good for the Americans. So there's 1 artillery shift and 1 hit. Okay, well look, let's bring these down to their final step. Not looking good. Germans are feeling pretty confident about this combat, even though it's a night turn. Okay, German artillery. Now, what do they have? Oh, sorry, I was very clumsy, very lazy with German artillery. They'll set those up. They are in place. Where are their other artillery pieces? I know I moved some up. I didn't even move my German units. I'm jumping way ahead. Let me backtrack to German movement. Wow, I just skipped that movement phase completely. So winding back a bit, German movement phase. I set mode determination, then went straight to combat for some reason. Halt. I'm going to shift all these halt forces around. So 3... No, let's do it 1 at a time. So 1, 2. I'm going to try and swing right around. 3, 4. 7. 7. Now there's an interesting situation here because 7. Let's remember that 7 movement points to here. What I want to do is double check the victory conditions for this scenario, because the Germans get victory points for exiting a Kampf group off the playing area. But they need to balance exiting those units, exiting those Kampf groups, with trying to get into Bastogne. So they could, for example, I could take Kampf group halt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. I could take this whole Kampf group and exit them immediately, right? That's 2 victory points for the Germans. But if I never get adjacent to Bastogne, it's almost a guaranteed American victory. That said, this is a pretty, if I exit that Kampf group, it relieves so much pressure on the Americans. They can just go, all right, they're gone. Let's put more pressure on the remaining Germans. So what I've done here is, okay, so I've given myself that exit strategy, but I'm going to put pressure on Bastogne. And I'm going to go 7, 8, 8.5, and it's not a strong, it's a pure AFV formation. I'm not confident. Do I test out the overrun rules? Is what I'm thinking. Is this the situation where I test out overrun? I kind of think 8.5. I kind of think if I can clear that unit out, it gives me that really that pathway to the outskirts of Bastogne. All right, so let's, and again, apologies in advance, I haven't done an overrun before, so I'm going to be experimenting with an overrun. I've got to find the overrun rules. And interestingly, there's no overrun entry in the glossary. Overcast, but not overrun. So I have to go back to the contents and find overrun combat, page 15. All right, here we go. Overrun combat. They use a normal fire support missions and ground assault procedure, but modified. The overrunning player may not consult fire support mission. The defending player may conduct against the overrunning units if they're in if the units being overrun are in a fort, entrenchment, they're not. If they're a battalion, they conduct a light. Well, they're not a battalion either. They're just a company level motorised engineers. Neither side may use ground combat reserves. After determining the result, but before resolving those results, players must determine if the overrun was successful. Okay, so it's a simple ground assault. We have got a ratio of 3 to 2. It's in, I think they're in, oh, they're in just rough terrain. Rough terrain is line 2. So that line 2, 3 to 2. This is not going to be a great combat for the Germans. They're really relying on armor and proficiency ratings. A slightly better proficiency rating, I think. Okay, so proficiency, they're 7 to 6, I think was the default. So +1. I feel I should double check that because I have a slight suspicion that engineering companies might be a bit better. Problem is finding that default in this Wacht and Rhein specific rulebook, which is huge, could take me forever. I'm going to just make a ruling that it's 6. All right, so we'll say give the Germans a +5 for that proficiency rating bonus. It's an armor rating of 3 against 1, so +2. It's in rough, which has a -1, maximum of 4. So difference of 2, -1 goes down to 1, which is a +10 modifier for the Germans, giving them +15. Oh, what else? Okay. So column shifts. It's neither in vantage points. Combat strength modifiers. I don't think there's any. No combined arms in maneuver combat terrain. I don't think rough terrain counts as maneuver because this is a pure AFV. But I don't think rough is, maneuver covering terrain. Just look at the CRT. No, it's not. All right, so no worries there. Not in a marsh, not over a river. No worries there. We have, okay. Just looking through the list, no defender column shifts, attacker column shifts. Attacking in night turn, 1 to the left, that counts as an attacker column shift. They're not in PA mode. That's it, pretty much. So dice roll modifiers, +15 we've worked out. No regimental integrity bonus around here. So we roll, +15. Green dice are 10s for the attacker first. That's a good roll for the Germans. That gives us 113, which is a proficiency rating check, a 1 discretionary and 2 mandatory. Okay, so asterisk 1, 2. The defender rolls. What did I say? Green's a 10, so +15 is 53. Is going to be asterisk 1 mandatory hit. Wow, mutual destruction. Asterisk 1. But it says for an overrun. Before resolving this, players must determine if the overrun is successful by following the steps. The attacker must declare if he will convert any all discretionary hits to losses. If he chooses not to, well, he didn't get any discretionary hits. All his hits were mandatory. If he chooses not to convert all discretionary hits, if the attacker converts all losses, the player has made a total hits to the defender's total hits. If the attacker's total is less than the defender's, the overrun is successful. Yeah, okay. Players resolve combat results. The attacker must inflict all hits as mandatory hits. The defender resolves hits using the standard procedure. So basically, it's mutual destruction. They're both wiped out. 1 step each. Yeah, they're both gone. But that may be beneficial to the Germans because it has, as we wanted to do, cleared now this path to Bastogne. And we have some units here still in trucks. What happens if you smash into engineers in trucks? It can't be good. That said, we've really just weakened our already weak formation. But let's get this. This is another silhouetted unit. Okay, was that a bad idea? Quite possibly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. We know that they can follow, and that's artillery. We might leave them there, and we'll pull these guys back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we'll follow up. So this formation here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. That's probably very risky, but and maybe, yeah, okay, so we'll bring this formation into there. We'll just cram them all in. 26 Volksgrenadier into the middle there. Should flip those over. They are not ammunition depleted. We'll bring these two into there, and then we'll swing Panzerlehr around somehow. I think it's 4 through these forests. Forests cost 4 movement points, I think. Yeah, it does. So it's expensive, but 8, I think. And then they'll stay there. We'll bring these guys down and around, so 8. And then we can push these guys in and move these guys up in support. In fact, they'll go 3, 4, 5. Well, I think they can make there easily. Okay, so trying to swing around these American defences. I haven't been good at setting up entrenchments. I think that's a critical mistake I've made, something I really need to learn. All right, now we can actually get to the combat. We're already done. We could do a tactical, we could hit the artillery. That'll be 6. Oh, they do have a good AT value. That's a scary thing there. Maybe I don't want to. It's enough, I think, to threaten Bastogne and to really, really cut into American lines. All right, so the attack is taking place on this formation up here. We've got a strength of 18 plus 5 is 23. The defenders have got 2. Half of that halved is 1, so 3. So 23 on 3, which is 7 to 1. Not looking good. And it is, what line was it? It is, yeah, rough wooded. So line 3, 7 to 1, still very much favouring the Germans. Okay. We have got proficiency rating of 9 on 6 is plus 3 to the Germans. We have got 6 against 1 AT. Wow. In rough wooded, minus 2 to a maximum of 2, so 20. We're looking at 35 for the Germans. Regimental integrity bonus, they get 10, so 5 and 5. So we're looking at 20, 35, 45 plus 45. And combat reserves, +5 to a maximum of 3. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3. I think, I'm not entirely sure. 13.7.3. Let's do a quick check of the combat reserve rules. 13.7.3. Combat reserves. No, that can't be right. That's what it says on the combat reserves. Okay, the defending player declare the number of CR units that will participate. Each unit with a combat reserve marker receives 1 bonus. The defending player and the attacking player declare the number of combat reserve units that will participate in the ground assault. Units with a combat reserve marker award 1 CR bonus for that side. I'm not sure how the defender would get combat reserve. I guess you have to designate it during the American combat phase in case, and have them held behind the line here, for example. In any case, the Germans get a maximum of 3 for 15. They're on 45 now, they're up to 60, I think. So looking at a +60 modifier on this it's row M. Oh, okay, column shifts. M, no vantage point. It's a night turn, so it does shift 1 to the left. They are in PR mode though, so 1 to the right. And I think that's it. There is not a defensive work here. Oh, there's an artillery shift. So another 1 to the right. This is the final column. So +60 to a roll of 51 is, wow, it's 3 and 3. So the Americans are wiped out. The American roll of bad, keep in mind they want to roll low, is off the chart. I think that means no effect. So the Americans have so many mandatory hits here, certainly more than the 2 steps they have. 3 mandatory hits, 3 discretionary. They are wiped out, and the Germans can advance. They've captured Foy. They'll advance from this position here. Okay, and those combat reserves have done their job. So they really hit that weak point in the American line. Yes, it was a night game turn, but yeah, the Americans couldn't get their reinforcements up. Now this can be risky. I know it looks scary having these German positions right in the western outskirts. These are victory points. This denies, because this is Bastogne and that is Bastogne. And the Americans need to prevent the Germans from getting adjacent to Bastogne by the end of the scenario. The fact that these units are here denies the Germans 8 victory points. Denies the Americans 8 victory points. So if the situation stands like this, it could either be a tie or maybe a slight German victory. The US lose a victory point if there are not 2 hybrid units of 10th Armoured. That's really confusing victory. Right, so we've lost some 9th Armoured. They've been broken down and distributed, but the 10th Armoured are here and there. Okay, so they're doing okay. 10th Armoured. When I say they're doing okay, they're down to 5 steps, but they're surviving. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the German turn. It's the end of the night turn. It's the end of the 19th of December. Administrative phase, nothing. Oh, I didn't do my ammunition checks for the artillery. I always forget that. So let's do the American roll. They're fine. Let's do the German roll, and they're fine as well. So they've got a value of 3. So a 4 or higher, and they suffer ammunition depletion. So they've become very lucky, the Germans, considering The Americans failed their depletion value roll on, I think, the first turn, and the Germans keep passing. Probably because I keep forgetting, but in any way, they've still got ammunition. All right, that's the end of the 13th. I would really like to recheck the night rules because I think I'm doing some things wrong. I may be missing some of the night game turn effects. In any case, we head to the what are we now on? That was turn 5, so now we're turn 6, which is the 20th of December, the AM turn. We do now have some reinforcements arriving. No more American reinforcements, but we do have Lair headquarters. I can find them hopefully pretty quickly. I found Lair, I found their headquarters. Okay, and these guys come in. Oh, we also have the rest of the Porsche Kampf group. So we've got Lair headquarters, a pretty strong hybrid unit coming in with them. Motorized infantry, looks pretty strong, and a self-propelled artillery battalion and an anti-tank company, which, yep, it's in the counter mix, just mixed up. No, that's not it. That was something else. No, I don't know where the Panzer anti-tank company. It's a special number, 130. And it's not in the counter mix, so they may already be on the map for some reason. In any case, these guys are arriving 29:17, which should be down here somewhere. 29:17, they arrive right in this hex, there, where the artillery is. Okay, and that's the last of the reinforcements. Actually, no, it's not, because there are some special rules. Oh no, there is more. Okay, on this turn, the German player rolls a d10. So let's roll that. This is to determine what happens with, I think it's the Fallschirmjäger. Yeah, it is the 5th Fallschirmjäger Parachute Infantry Battalion. So let's see what happens. This is the roll. It's an 8. Okay, so if the roll is 0 through 3, any other result is no effect. Oh, they didn't turn up. They were distracted. They're heading down this way, south off the map. That's it. That's it. That was a special scenario instruction as well, I believe. If I go back, special rules. Oh, we also have special fuel rules. Okay, all mech units operate with normal fuel. At the beginning of the play turn, German play turn, we roll a dice. So we don't roll that now. That was the roll for the Fallschirmjäger. We will also roll for fuel momentarily when it's a German player turn. For now though, it's the American player turn, and they have their mode determination phase. And they are very keen, I can tell you, to clear out these pesky Germans from the outskirts of Bastogne. So much so that they are thinking about a counterattack. We have got infantry. What have we got up here? Fatigued engineers. I need to check. Oh, fatigue recovery. Okay, I may have missed that. I did miss that in the administration phase. How exactly does fatigue recovery work? I can recover 1 fatigue level from all eligible units, 14.3. What are the units eligible to recover fatigue? Well, units can recover a maximum of 1 fatigue hit during the fatigue recovery segment. A unit may recover a fatigue if it did not move. So all those units moved. Or that unit, that engineering unit moved. They pulled back away from the front lines. Maybe they should have stayed there. But they probably would have been subject to some of the other restrictions, such as being subject to a ground assault. So hopefully they can rest just north in the plains of Savy, just north of Bastogne. Okay, mode determination phase. Do I want to counterattack the Germans? Not right now. Maybe. Do I? I don't have the 8T. Oh, I've got this big artillery, and they have an 8
armor factor. So they've got 8 armor, 4 anti-tank. 8 on the offense, 4 on the defense. So for, yeah, they're very good. No, that's their barrage factor. Artillery pieces. Not, it's the same place where armor factor goes. So that's their barrage factor. That's their anti-tank factor for defensive purposes. What can I do to bring some armor into here? I could bring on my, what else have I got? Again, I want to keep these at the back of the line because I think it's only fair and historical. I can't exactly recall what the Germans have under there, but I think it's got a good armor rating. Can I bring enough factors to push them out? I think I'll play it safe and just defend Bastogne for now. So we're going to move. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. I think that's legal. We're going to dismount here and go move into there. These guys are going to pull back into Bastogne. These guys are going to go through the forest, which is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or along the road, or maybe this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. We can bring these guys in. 1, 2. Drop their trucks. 3 minus 2 is 1. They have 1 movement point left. They'll stay there. And then we have this artillery all coming on. And these are just company size artillery pieces. So I think this could be illegal, but I think because, no, they're not company size, they're battalions, Canada's battalions, my apologies. But that's what the traffic jam looks like now. Not too bad. And again, not in prepared assault mode. None of the Americans are in prepared assault mode, so they will not be assaulting. We're in trouble here though, because the Germans look like they're breaking through. So let's pull back away. Let's go boom boom to there. Let's pull back the line here and hold that position there. Stretch out the line a bit, stop any more Germans coming around. Do I now pull back away from here? And is it legal to do so? I know it's legal under a prepared assault market, but can I do so in tactical move mode? I think I can. Zone, sort of like zone of control to zone of control. So we're looking at movement. So tactical movements, attack mode, C7 attack mode movement procedures. So we skip forward to chapter 7. Okay. Minimum movement. Unit can always move 1 hex. Regardless of MP costs, if it's a leg class unit. Yep. So they can always move 1 hex. So, they're not leg class movements. And geez, we've got our self-propelled artillery in there. Mid-class, well, they've got normal fuel, so yes, they're going to pull back to a tighter ring defence around Bastogne and abandon those defensive works. They, however, will hold their position. CCB 10th Armoured. And do we need to strengthen them? Yeah, we will. We will move those guys across. Keep 10th Armoured there. They've been strengthened thanks to the 101st Airborne. In fact, I'm going to pull them further north to that position, give them some regimental integrity, bonuses there on the defense. Okay, no American attacks. So, the Germans closing in on Bastogne. So here are the 2 hexes of Bastogne. They're on the western outskirts. They've looped around. Very risky move by Kampfgruppe Holt. Very risky move. But the key success is up here. Kampfgruppe Kosch pushing down, capturing Foy, driving the 101st Airborne back to a tighter ring around Bastogne. Still though, 1, 2, 3 hexes, and I think time is running out. When does this scenario end? Ends this night turn. So they've got 3 turns to hold this position. Maybe they should have pushed more around, just tried to hold on. It's too late now, they've done it. I should have gone construction phase. There is a fast construction going on, which is now, I think, complete because they can't be seen. So they can complete a level 1 entrenchment there. They started it in the construction phase, they finish it at the end of the movement phase. So that's done. Sorry, there's another mistake I've made. I should have done that. Let's again rewind. All right, American phase is done. Administrative phase. These guys who didn't move recover from fatigue. Yay. So we did lose our infantry battalion, but we recovered our engineers. All right, German phase. It is a day turn. We are stacking up our prepared assault markers. How many can we get together? Prepared assault, prepared assault, prepared assault. Here's some more. You just imagine this. Where else? Here we go, prepared assault. All right, where are we going to prepare our assaults? Bear in mind, infantry can move 1 hex. Mech units can move 2. I definitely feel that the second 502nd is looking particularly weak and they are vulnerable. I can't remember exactly what's under here, but as the kind of pointy end of the line, kind of shutting out American positions. Look, maybe I should, do I smash, let's, yeah, if I can really drive through here, guarantee success here, then I'm only 1 hex away from this position here. Oh, sorry, I did forget to bring in my reinforcements. So they'll come on to here. Look at these hybrid formations, they're huge. And that's just a company, they can stack together. They will come up to here and hold a position just in the center for now. Start of the movement phase, I need to designate my combat reserves. Go to that before the Germans do. This is prepared assault, sorry. This is mode determination phase, so we're still good. So I don't know why I just moved that. I'm getting ahead of myself, getting confused. Prepared assault. Prepared assault because it's such a big hybrid unit. We will, this is some more Kosch, yep, Kampfgruppe Kosch. We will bring them in as well. This is good. They are not as, oh, they've got a big AFV formation. So they can go 1, 2 into there. They should be down further south. This is von Fall, Kampfgruppe of Panzerlehr. Do I hit them here? How strong are we? 10. I'll have 20. 20, and if we can designate these guys as a combat reserve, or I can bring them into the attack. Look, I think I'll designate these guys as a combat reserve, so I'll put prepared assault markers on them and them. So German attacks pretty much along the eastern end of that American line, trying to push them back to Bastogne. That's my determination phase. We now move to construction phase and no German construction taking place. So we now go to the movement phase. At the start of the movement phase, this is where I have to designate my combat reserve. What do I do with these guys? I think they're a decent formation with decent armor. Now we'll keep them together. They might swing around to the west and try and pick off some of these airborne formations out here. So we'll leave that combat reserve, combat reserve. We may have some more here. We'll designate these guys. They're the ones that have just moved up. They are combat reserve. They are combat reserve. Okay, and let's see how we go with that. So we're trying to hit select points. This point, that point, and then I think this point here, trying to wipe out CCR, 9th Armoured. Although this might be a strong position, maybe it's better to go here. I could bring these two stacks together to focus on this, which I know is going to be vulnerable. Yes, I got the M18s there, but I don't think it's a strong stack. Okay, combat reserves are set. Let's get to movement. And these guys, I mean, I could do something over here. It's probably best to stack them up. Again, this is very relaxed supply rules in this scenario. What are the supply rules for this scenario? I don't even think I've been paying attention. A unit is in general supply if it can trace a path of hexes of any length to path of hexes of any length east of the 29XX. So, you know, they can just come loop around here, these winding roads, and they're fine. As long as they don't get cut off from here, which they're not far from. That said, there's only 3 hexes between these German positions, so they're not far from having Bastogne surrounded. What are the movement? Okay, so what movement am I doing? Yeah, look, this formation here we go. There you go, 1, 2.5. That's at 4 in total. And they're going to slide in there, that formation. And they're just going to try and, you can see, they're going to try and drive a wedge between these kind of scattered airborne formations up here. This is, I think, part of, this is the headquarters, 2nd Panzer. Engineers, we'll get them into the thick of it as well. They'll just move up a little bit. But then here, with these prepared assault formations, we're going to move in here. So they're under prepared assault. I'm going to shift Kampf Group Kosh just across there. So they're now together. But this now lets me bring, oh, there's more Kosh. Okay, they can bring move 2 hexes. And they're both, that's a 1-step battalion. This is not constricted terrain, so they can go 1, 2, 1, 2, and that engineering group company can follow them in. So that lets us focus these 2 formations on this stack here. Not moving, not moving, not moving, not moving, not moving, not moving. Movement is done. We are ready for German combat. And let's go straight up here. So, gunfire support segment, fire support segment. We have the Americans first, and again, we've got those 8 guns, and they'll fire at this stack here. It is 8. I don't think, again, that there are any vantage points around here. They're under prepared assault markers. They don't get, I always forget that. They don't get the benefit of terrain. Must remember that rule. So no terrain benefits. It is AFV mixed. Yes, mixed. AFV mixed. So for a -2, it's quite a dense stack. We are looking. Sorry, what was I looking at? Yeah, I was looking at the wrong stack. This stack here. AFV mixed. Three steps. So no modifiers. So -2, we've got 8 -2, which is 6. That's it. 8 -2 is 6, plus the die roll. 4 is 10. I think it's a result of 1. So the Germans suffer 1 step. The sad thing is that's going to flip their nice big unit over. And they lose 6 strength as a result. That really hurts. They could have taken that, I think. As a retreat, but then they really weaken their attack opportunity. Okay. German counter battery. Well, their offensive fire phase. Now they have got artillery here, 6. They've just moved 7, 8, 9, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll split into 2 missions. We will do a mission here with as much as we can. So let's get, well, as much as I can. We'll do 8 on this point, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Yet we'll do the remaining 5 here. So an 8 barrage factors striking this point here. They are, do we have any attackers in a vantage point? No. Any observers, sorry? No. No. Making a mess of the counters. The defenders are in a vantage point. I don't think that really matters. Rough terrain. So -1 for rough. AFV mixed. So -2, so it is 8 -2 is 5. Density, I think, did I see 3? No, only 2 steps here. 2 steps, which is another -1. So -4, which is strength of 4. So it is 8 -4, which is 4, plus a die roll of 2 is 6, which is no effect. The Americans roll for their ammo check. They pass. The Germans roll. They fail by a lot, which means that we have to deplete now. Finally, it's caught up with them. They have to deplete 6 steps of, or 6 steps, or 6, in effect, all the units that were firing because it's so big. It's 9 minus their value of 3. So we had that. We now have 3 and 2 attacking this point here. So strength of 5, no vantage points in this area that the Germans have. They are AFV mixed, -2 in, I see people playing these games on enlarged hexes and it looks great. It's just too fiddly for these small hexes. Stop it. Okay, what is it? Rough wooded, which is -2, -1. No, wood rough, -2. How many steps are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be a +1. So it's -1 net. No, -4 + 1 is 3. -3 net to the 5. 5 - 3 is 2, plus a die roll is 8, is a 10, which is a 1 hit on the Americans. And I'll take it from that 1506. Okay, that's all. And now we roll for ammunition depletion, and it's another one. So they keep that ammo as well. All right, now we get to the combat section. I'm pretty sure they were flipped over. We had 2 6s there. This is the problem. I flipped these counters over by accident and suddenly they've gained a step back. So we've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 21, 26 on 8, which is 3 to 1. 3 to 1 in rough wooded, which is line 3. Okay, we have no combat strength modifiers. We have defender column shifts. No AS. Are they an advantage point hex? No. No improved positions or entrenchments. That's it. For the attacker, they are in PA mode, so it shifts 1 to the right. And that's it. Fairly straightforward. So, dice roll modifiers. Okay, the Germans have armour of 6. I think the best they can do is 4 on defence. So it's a difference of 2, but they are in woods, which is -2, which is a net of 0. Proficiency rating, 9 against, I think the best these guys can do, 9, the 101st, so no modifiers there. And regimental integrity bonus. We have comfort Kosh with 1, 2, 3, 4 units, so that's plus 20. And the 101st Airborne, so their regiment is the 1506. 2506, so it's a plus 10. So 20 minus 10 is 10 for the Germans. And combat reserve is too far away. They're not adjacent, so it's just a plus 10 for the Germans on this row. So greens are 10s. Ooh, it's a low roll, which is 20. That's terrible. It's just a proficiency check. The Americans roll an 88, which is off the chart, no effect. So just a proficiency check for the Americans, which they pass. Wow, completely inconsequential combat. Yes, that's surprising. I thought the Germans would hit that harder. Okay, so they did lose a step, bear in mind, earlier on. All right, next combat over here. This, with the combat reserve, might be different. So, we have got, stop it, combat reserves. We have got 10 and 10, 20 on 9, 20 on a strength of 9. They are an advantage point, which is 2 to 1 in rough terrain, which is line 2. So 2 to 1, line 2. No combat strength modifiers. Defender column shifts. They are an advantage point. So 1 to the left. They are... Okay, so they're in an improved position. So 1 to the left. I think that's it. For the attacker, they're in PA mode. So 1 to the right. That's it. They're really relying on their die roll modifiers here. So they have combat reserves. They've got one, it has to be a battalion, so they don't count, but there's 1, 2 units that they're counting for combat reserve, which is a plus 10. Regimental integrity bonus. So we've got 2 from the 72nd, which is 10, and 2 from the 68, which is another 10. So plus 30. Plus 30. Proficiency rating, they've got a 7. They have got a 7, so that cancels out. Armour. These guys don't have any armour and 0 anti-tank, whereas the Americans have a plus 4 on their hybrid unit, and that's 40. But hold on a sec. If one side has a printed value of 5 or greater, no, it's not 5 or greater. So plus 10, 40 kind of cancels out. So what was the 20, 10, 20? I'm trying to work out what the modifier was. Combat reserve was 10. Regimental integrity bonus was another 20, is 30. Minus 40 is negative 10. I did not expect that. That's because of the lack of AT. I did not bring AT to this combat, and it's really going to hurt. All right, so -10 on this die roll. Attacker first. Oh, that's a 1. That's going to be off the chart. No effect. Defender. That's pretty high as well. -10 is going to be oh no, it's 58, 48, which is going to be on the chart. It's going to be an *1 mandatory hit. Okay, so we can put a proficiency rating check for the Germans. That's going to be the lowest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pass, right? They've got nothing lower than that. But they do lose a step. So this German turn is certainly not going to plan. I mean, they're concentrating their attacks. It's just not paying off. Actually, we'll flip them over. All right, last chance. Here we go. Prepare to salt. Prepare to salt. Prepare to salt. We have got a strength of 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 23. 23 on 6, which is almost 4 to 1. Almost 4 to 1, isn't 4 to 1. In a forest, ouch, which is line 3. So 3 to 1 in a forest. 3 to 1 in a forest. Okay. No combat strength modifiers. Are they in a vantage point? I don't think so. They're just outside one. So they're not. They're not in an improved position. The attackers are marked PA mode, so one to the right. Okay. Combat reserve. Right, we've got 2 von Porsche. So that's 10, 15. Okay. 15. Combat reserves, 15. Oh, we have heaps. Up to a maximum of 3, so we've got another 15 is 30. Proficiency rating. I think the Americans win this. We can muster a 7 and a 7 against their 9. So 30 comes down to 20. Armor, we have a 5, we have a 6 against a 0. So what was 30? Was it 30? I need a texter to keep track of all this kind of stuff. Combat reserve was 15. Rebs was 15. Minus 10 is 20. Plus, okay, so it's in the forest. The forest is going to minus 2 to a maximum of 1. So their maximum of 1 is going to be 30. So plus 30. Attacker first. That's terrible. 48 is going to be 2 discretionary hits. Interesting. 2 discretionary hits. And the defender, 52 plus 30 is 82, off the chart. Okay. 2 discretionary hits for these Americans. What do they want to do? Okay. I think they'll take a hit and then retreat one. That's a good terrain to defend in. Do they just take 2 steps and... okay, so yeah, I think I'll take 2 steps and try and hold this ground. Getting to the pointy end of this scenario now where the Americans, I think they want to hold their ground. So we need, I think now, to hold their ground, they need to do I'll double check this, but I think it's a proficiency rating check. Okay, resolve discretionary hits. They want to hold their position. Yep, PRC, a 9 or less, so they've got a good chance of passing this. A 3, yep. They pass that, they hold their ground, they suffer 2 step losses. So we flip them over to show 1, and we put a little spade underneath them to show 2. So they're actually at half strength. Very weak unit, but prevents the Germans from moving through that vital forested area keeps it in American control. Because once you get past here, that's kind of the last bit of forest between the German position and Bastogne. If they captured that, it's a vantage point, and then Bastogne, it's going to be hard to defend if they retreat any further. That's why I'm holding here. So, the Germans have been held remarkably. I really thought they would have 3 smashing successes on that turn, but it wasn't to be. So that's the end of the German turn. Administrative phase, nothing really to administer. So we're at the end of turn 6, heading into turn 7. It's getting late, so I'll wrap it up here. Yeah, I know I keep forgetting artillery checks. What else am I forgetting? I keep forgetting the modifiers, so I need something to keep track of that. I might get a pen and paper and just sort of start noting that because I'm doing it all in my head. But I'll double check everything again. See if I've forgotten anything. I'm curious about this artillery. So this artillery here, depleted, defending. I don't know if that is any modifier to their defensive strength. Defense strength of 5, right? So is it modified because they're depleted? I'm not sure. But there you go. Americans holding the Germans back with only 2 turns to go, but also holding that position on the western outskirts of Bastogne. So if the Americans, I mean, it shouldn't be too hard, the amount of infantry they got, but if they can't dislodge them, that denies the Americans a lot of victory points. So it's going to be very interesting, folks. Thanks for watching.